身勝手の極意参戦だ。
Alright, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the DS Asylum. I'm your Ward of the Michi Shrine, and today we are going to be going over my current top 5 favorite units in Dragon Ball Legends. It's actually been a while since I did one of these. I don't actually think I've done one of these at all so far this year. Granted, I don't end up releasing these every month, but it has been, I think, 7 or 8 months since I last did one of these. So it's definitely overdue. So let's just not waste any more time. I'm sure just by what you're looking at on your screen, you can probably tell who made the list. I guess it just depends on what part of the list he's on. But let's just go ahead, hop on over to number 5. Alright, coming in at number 5, we have the Sparking Whis. Yes, actually, the Sparking Whis has made my top 5. It's crazy, but I think it's a crime that nobody uses this Whis outside of the red purple team with 17 and 18. I genuinely believe that it's a goddamn crime that people don't use this unit. Not only does he have some of the most fun animations in the game, and that by itself makes him worth using, but he's also really freaking good. Like, he's a support type, so his stats are, you know, ugh. But he holds a green card. There aren't too many units that hold a green card, and he also holds a strike damage up green card, or strike card, which is very good. Main ability, very good. He nullifies special cover change for the first 60 counts of a battle, which is the exact reason why I say anyone who does run the red purple and doesn't lead Whis doesn't know how to run that team. I'm just saying that right now. If you run that team and Whis isn't the unit you lead with, you're not using that team properly. I know, because I used it for a few weeks. But all in all, this Whis is just really good, really underrated, really underrepresented in the meta. His card draw speed lowering is fucking annoying. He gets 50% of his vanish gauge back when the enemy switches, which is fairly common because he actually does some pretty decent strike damage when he slaps the shit out of you. And then he does provide a little bit of support as well. He does pretty much everything. And on top of that, he's actually fun to use. And units that are both good and actually fun to use are very few and far between these days. So Whis most definitely makes my top 5. Moving on to number 4, we have a staple of these teams, Caulifla and Kale. So Caulifla and Kale have actually moved down pretty significantly since the last time I made one of these. The last, I think, 2 or 3 times I made one of these lists, this unit was at number 1, and now they've dropped down to number 4. Now, I will say this, the only reason why this unit is still at all usable for me is because I have them at 14 stars. I got them to 14 stars on their initial banner, so I've had them at 14 since they fucking came out. And I still think that they're very underrated. Stats, not really all that great, but they have a perfect combination of everything. They've got high damage inflicted, they've got uncancelable card draw speed, they can lock in the enemy after they're hit, they get extra blast damage when they're using cards. Like, honestly, while this unit is not, you know, some game-changing, meta-breaking, oh my god unit, she's been consistently reliable. This has been a consistently reliable unit for me ever since she came out, and they still continue to be reliable whenever I use them. I just recently used them like a week ago, and they did really well. They honestly did. When I did my Kale showcase that the YouTube algorithm really did not like, I used them on that team, and yes, Kale is pumping them full of a bunch of support, but it's not really that big a deal considering this unit is almost a year old and still performed as well as they did, just with a little bit of support behind them. It's not really that far of a stretch to say that this is one of the most underrated units ever. And I really just wish that back in their prime, people gave them the time of day, because yeah, they're not going to stay, they're probably not going to stay in my top 5 for too much longer. because eventually even I'm going to have to admit that they're starting to die out, and that'll be a sad day. But until that happens, they have a firm spot in my top 5. Up next, we have the boy that you saw at the beginning, Dragon Fist, the brand new Dragon Fist LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Dreams do come true. They honestly do. Why is his art so fucking good? Now, this unit got a lot of slack for reusing the Dragon Fist summon animation in his ultimate. I just gotta say this, y'all are too picky sometimes, because I really like that summon animation, and I have zero issue with it being a part of a unit. Like, actually none. I would love it if they implemented more summon animations into units. I mentioned this in his showcase, but if we ever got an animation that was just a revival Goku, who when he died, Whis came down, did his time reverse nonsense, then he went Super Saiyan Blue and knocked the enemy back with the Kamehameha, that would be fucking awesome. And they could make it frame for frame the exact same animation as the summon one, and I'd be totally fine with it. So I have no issue with his reuse summon animation. I think it looks cool, and at the end of the day, if it looks cool, why change it? Why change something that isn't broke? Why try to fix something that isn't broken? But aside from that, this Goku is just really freaking good for no reason. His green card is just stupid. His unique gauge is what really, like, pumps him up to being just actually cracked. Like, it would take me, like, the next 5 minutes to go through this fucker's entire kit and talk about all the good things that are in it. But just this Goku is one of the better units that we've gotten. And I would actually say there's a lot of debate on Twitter on whether or not he's better than MUI Goku. I don't even think it's close. I think he just flat out destroys MUI Goku. Like, the second this fucker's gauge is full, the two of them aren't even close. He blows MUI Goku out of the water, off the fucking face of the earth, once that gauge is filled up. They're not even comparable units. I don't know why there's so much debate on Twitter about this shit. I don't even think they're comparable. I don't. He's so much better than MUI Goku once that gauge is filled. It's crazy. And he's also my boy. It's my boy, Super Saiyan 3. My two favorite things. Dragon Fist and Super Saiyan 3. Put them together and you have a unit that I need to get more copies of. Up next, we have the EX Urine. Yes, EX Urine is actually higher on the list than Dragon Fist Goku. But the only reason for that is because Dragon Fist Goku just came out. Trust and believe, he'll probably surpass her at some point. But for the time being, Urine is above them, or is above him. And while I only have this unit at 3 stars right now, I am trying to save up some sparking metals. I'm going to be grinding the next raid that comes out. And, you know, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff that I can. I will get this unit, excuse me, to 14 stars. And we will end up doing a 14-star showcase of this unit. Trust and believe. Because I think she's one of the best extreme units to ever release. I do. I honestly do. Her stats wouldn't tell you that. But she is one of the most busted kits of any extreme unit, literally ever. It's not even that long. It's just really fucking good. Her main ability is really good too. Hell, even her Z ability is pretty damn good for an extreme unit. Like, and on top of that, she has some of the best animations in the game. Her super attack is so fucking clean. It's actually one of the cleanest supers in the entire game. And it baffles me how they put all of this effort into an extreme unit and didn't just fucking make her and base Kale sparking units. Honestly, had Kale been a sparking, she probably would have made this list too. Because a support type EX is a recipe for disaster, but her kit is really good. The problem is her stats are so fucking low that it almost doesn't matter, but I would still actually argue that she's the best blue on Universe Survival Saga. Like, I actually do think that she's better than Vegeta, which is kind of crazy. Despite being a support EX, I actually do think she's just better than the fucking transforming Vegeta. But had she also been a Sparking, she probably would have made the top 10 list as well. Mainly because I'd have both of these fuckers at higher stars. Because Sparking Z power is, weirdly enough, so much easier to get than Extreme Z power. The only reliable place you can ever get Z power for these idiots is fucking the Sparking Metal Shop. So, I don't know. But anyway, EX Urine, easily my number 2. And Dragon Fist will probably surpass her soon. But for the time being, she gets to have the glory of the number 2 spot. And number 1, we have an old-time favorite. Stop turning. We've got the boy LF Corrupted Zamasu. You want to know what's crazy? Not only has Zamasu been on this list in every single one that I've made since his release, he's actually gone up. This is the first time that he's not in the number 2 slot, but instead takes the number 1 slot. So an entire year after his release, he not only managed to stay on the list, he actually went up on the list. It's actually crazy how I've been putting him on this list for an entire year and he moved up a year later. But Corrupted Zamasu is easily one of the best LFs, one of the best aging units in general, just ever. Like, there's never a time when Corrupted Zamasu doesn't just take over matches. He has that in his prime LF Broly snowball effect, where once he gets going, there's literally no stopping him. Once you grab the momentum with that big ass arm Zamasu's got, he ain't letting it go. He will just 1v3 your entire team every single time. And it is actually ridiculous. Corrupted Zamasu is still one of the best reds in the game. He really doesn't like Saiyans. Like, he destroys Saiyans easily. He still has one of the best green cards in the game. I would argue 17 and 18 are probably the only units that have a better green card than he does. I mean, like, who else has AoE, 40 key, 3 sub count, and 3 counts of element nullification? Like, who else has that? Nobody. Nobody has it. He's the only one. He's the only unit in the game that can do all of that. All he's missing is the cover null once the lock-in ends, as if that matters. You just fucking rush your opponent. He's actually just ridiculous. He still has one of the hardest hitting ultimates in the game. His death debuffs are still pretty useful, as well as his death buff, because he actually gives the allies 30% damage inflicted, which is a lot, because usually death buffs give you like 15, 20. If it's 30, it's usually like just strike damage or just blast damage, or maybe they'll give you like 30% to ultimate damage or whatever. But he just gives you 30% general damage and then fucks the enemy team for 30 counts. It's actually ridiculous. So even when he's dead, he's still screwing with you. Corrupted Zamasu is just one of the most consistently good units ever. And a year later, I feel like he's just as good, if not even better, than he was when he released. Now, part of that, him feeling better part, is him finally having access to a Zenkai buff, that being the Zenkai Rosé. So that definitely helps him. And also having his teams just get better as the months progress, those specifically being God Key and powerful opponents. I actually choose to run Corrupted Zamasu on the red purple over MUI Goku, because I think on that specific team, he's just better, because his green card is so much better than MUI Goku's, and his ability to just win matches for existing is better than MUI Goku when you give him support. So yeah, I think on that team specifically, he's just better than MUI Goku. Now, is he just naturally better than MUI Goku? No, but I think I'd still run him over MUI Goku in most situations. One, because I have him at higher stars, so he'll just do more damage. But also, He actually fits on his teams, I think, a little bit better than Goku does, honestly. But that is pretty much it for the list. That is our top 5 right there. Number 5 spot, we got Whis. Number 4, we got Caulifla and Kale. Number 3, we got Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3. Number 2, we have EX Urine. And then number 1, we have the boy who reigns supreme, the god, LF Corrupted Zamasu. Fun fact, this is the first time since I started making these lists that my little demon child, LF Kid Buu, is not on it. And the only reason for that is I just don't really use him anymore. So I can't put him in the top 5 if I don't use him. Let my little demon child get his platinum equipment. You're fucking handing out plats to fucking LF Broly and full power Frieza. Let my little demon child get his platinum equipped. So I can put him back in the top 5, alright? I love my little demon child. Love that little fucker. I want to use my kid Buu again. Anyway, let me know what your top 5 favorite units are in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, do make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that join button if you can, it really does help the channel out. All the links you could ever want are in the description down below. And I will see all of you inmates back here at the asylum for the next video. Peace.